Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today we're going to be doing a removable element on a card. So this could be like a tag, an ornament, whatever you want to make. This is technically a tag that can be used as an ornament. It's a cut file that's available in my Etsy shop for now. Maybe next year I can bring it out as a physical die, which would be fun. But for now, it's just a cut file in my Etsy shop, and I'll link it down below. It's a layering cut file, so there's a top layer and bottom layer for the wreath, and then there's like a layered bow to go with it, just for a little bit of extra dimension. Right now, I'm just cutting the background out of like a quilted background die that I have from Mama Elephant. This is actually the only background die that I own at the moment. And I absolutely love it. It just adds that little bit of texture that you need. Should definitely get some more background dyes, but I'm also developing some. So wait for that. In like late September, early October, I will have some products out for my brand very soon. And I'm super excited. Samples for the stamp set that I've designed are on the way, and I can't wait to test them out. But anyway, back to this card. So I've cut all the parts out before the video. I am going to cut a second layer for the background. This cut file does have like a tag option where the top portion has like a little circular cutout attached to it, but I wanted to keep the full shape of the wreath because that one it's like I said, it's part of the cut file, so it kind of like blends in. If you look at the photo, you'll understand what I mean. And I'll post it up here on the left just to show you. But what I'm doing now is I've cut all of these layers out in Lawn Fawn's Noble Fur cardstock. And the back layer, which would be your shadow layer, I have ink blended with Simon Says Stamp's Positively Saturated Ink in Pine, just to darken it up. You could definitely cut this out of two different cardstocks if you wanted. You could color them with alcohol markers or anything else that you have, but I just decided to do it with the ink today because it's a little bit smoother of a result as opposed to using alcohol markers. And of course, inky fingers get everywhere. So I did get a little bit of ink here on the top layer, but I'm just going to use my sand eraser to get most of it off, and we're just going to cover it up with some pearls later anyway, so I decided just to leave it because if you do erase too much with a sand eraser, it does damage the cardstock quite a bit and it makes it just look messy. So if you can cover it up, cover it up. If not, just cut a new one. Like I said, this is going to get covered anyway, so I didn't really have an issue with it. And right now I'm cutting my own like topper portion for the tag. I'm just going to cut a like thin, I think maybe 1/4 to 3/8 inch strip of this glitter cardstock from the dollar store, and I'm just going to punch a hole in it and trim it down a bit so that I can glue it between the layers. Like I said, I wanted this to be different than my actual tag for this cut file. So this adds just a bit of extra color, and it also allows you to see the full wreath without it having a built-in hole at the top. And then I'm just going to glue all the layers together. This you can definitely, like, again, use it as a tag on a gift. You could write your sentiment on the back around the circle, which would be cute. And what we're doing today is making something that the recipient can like hang either off a shelf or on their tree. So we're just going to be leaving it as the tag, and I'll show you how I attach it to the card afterwards. Right now I'm just coloring the background layers of the bow. They're pretty easy to discern which ones are the top and bottoms. The bottom portions are larger areas, and then the top portions line up like exactly on, so that there's a bit of a bottom layer shadow. The top of the bow has a top and a little bit of the bottom, so you kind of just have to line up that middle portion and the sides. It's very easy to line up. I'm making it sound complicated, but it's not. And then same with this bow center, like the center bottom portion is a little bit larger, and then the top portion goes towards the top of that just so that it has a little bit of a drop shadow at the bottom to add more depth. And the bottom portion of the ties can basically be put in any way. You can move the bow up and down that. If you want, you can cut them apart and put them a little bit closer together so that they're more centered. Whatever works for you. I usually use it as intended, and because that's the way I designed it. But right now I'm just adding some little like half pearls as like berries to this. I think these are from Trinity stamps. I'll link them down below. It's either Trinity or Studio Katia, but Studio Katia is no longer in business as far as I know. I think their website's down the last time I checked, so I don't think they're in business anymore. So whatever comes close, I will link below. But these are like really great for berries on like any type of like wreath you're using. They're a little bit brighter than I would like, probably. I would like them to be a bit darker, but it's okay. There's like 4 or 5 different sizes as well, which is great, so you can like really mix it up. I used, I think, the largest size and maybe a medium size to help cover up that ink splotch at the bottom there. So what I'm doing now is I'm just gonna fiddle with them for a bit as always, and then I will glue them down. And this is just Barely Art glue in a precision bottle, and I always have the links for those in the description below if you would also like to do it. I like working with smaller bottles because it's just easier to grab quickly and it's just easier for me to hold. Instead of big clunky glue bottles, like I prefer to fill this one up. And I actually don't have to fill it up very often because I don't use a lot of glue. Sometimes it looks like I do, but I don't. And next we're going to put the string on the tag. I'm just using some DMC floss that I got from, I think Michael's probably like years ago. This stuff is a little finicky to work with, especially when trying to cross stitch with it, which I've mentioned before. I tried doing it with the Lawn Fawn embroidery die set, but it was too much. So I generally use it for hanging tags now. So I just took one of the strands out and tied it around the tag. And once that's done, we're going to use some Easy Seat tape to just tape this down to the card. To me, this card base is pretty much disposable. Once the recipient gets it, they get the tag, maybe a cute little message, and they can save it if they want, but it will just be a plain card once you take this tag off. But that's pretty much our card for today, guys. Thanks again for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And until next time, thanks. Bye.